Welcome to another episode, everyone. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. The Inside Story with me, Damion Porter. Now, let me say a few things. Stick around. Let me say this. I have nothing prepared. I'm just going to wing it, sort of. But let me clarify a couple of things, first of all. I read some of the comments. I see a couple of people did a few reactions or what have you to the video that I did, yesterday and the day before, what have you, on Hoover Gumby. And I know that I said at the beginning of the video that I had talked to my OGs, some of my OGs. Some people saying in the comment, imagine a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old having an OG. Yes, I have OGs. I'm an OG myself, but I have OGs that I respect and I pay homage to. The same individuals who I consider my OGs when I was 22 years old. They're still there. And these are some high-ranking individuals. But I didn't have to go through anyone to get permission to go at Hoover Gumby. I was just explaining that they were already coming at me saying, man, what you did, we understand it. I didn't ask them, could I do it? I just did it. First of all, I just responded and in my mind, defended myself. But let me also say that to many people's probably, I'm sure, dismay and disappointment, I came to this conclusion all by myself right here. I haven't spoken. If anything, as I said, I've been encouraged to go at this individual, to go at Hoover Gumby. If anything, I've been encouraged to do it by individuals. I'm not going to get into all of that. But if anything, no one has said, man, you shouldn't do that, or what you did was wrong, or you shouldn't. No one has said that. Not that it would matter. I have my own mind, and I do what I feel like I have to do when someone puts my name in their mouth on the internet or what have you. And if I have a DP or discipline coming because I responded or defended myself or whatever, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm going to do what I have to do. Just to make that clear, first of all, but I do have individuals, of course, that I respect and that I look up to, and that's just that. Now, speaking of Hoover Gumby, now, so as I said, I came to this conclusion myself, just my own, based on my own character. And how I govern myself, I'm somewhat disappointed in myself that I let myself, get out of character somewhat. I mean, and on the one hand, I do know that I was just defending myself. But on the other hand, I also know that I shouldn't be having these conversations on the internet, period. Regardless of if someone else is having the conversation on the internet. What someone else eats does not make me shit. What you do should not dictate what I do. It never has. I've always been able to pride myself on that. I've always carried that belief that, when someone would say, well, why you look out for that person and you know that person would not look out for you? I say, because what that person does and how that person carries himself, comports himself or herself, this person's character does not dictate my character. Because this person would not do the same, would not share, does not mean that I'm going to allow that to make me a stingy person, make me someone who doesn't share. I'm still someone who shares. And if I now become someone who doesn't share, then based on what this individual did, then I allowed that individual to change who I am, to dictate who I am and how I carry myself. And I could never do that. I can allow someone to have that sort of strength and power over me. And that's pretty much what I did in this situation. Gumby said what he said. I could have really just let it go. It wasn't a big deal. He didn't get a whole lot of views on his channel when he called in and said it. I gave it more life, than anything. So it's not like a whole lot of people saw it, and it doesn't matter if 1 million people saw it. I know who I am, and that's all that matters, bro. And so that's it for me. To the disappointment and dismay of many of you all, I will not be going back and forth with Gumby. I really don't care what he says. At the end of the day, I also have to say that I can't be fake. If I have information on Gumby to expose him, then I should have exposed him a long time ago. I can't wait till I get upset about something and then say, that's some fake shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not fake like that, bro. I can't wait till so you've been knowing this and you ain't been said nothing. So why say something now? You want to wait till you get mad and now you want to talk about you going to expose them. How come you didn't expose them? You've been new information. So you say. How come you didn't expose this a long time ago? As soon as you knew about it. Instead, you've been giving them credit here on the internet. You've been giving them credit on YouTube. And then as soon as he says something bad about you, now you want to turn on him and say you're going to expose him. Now, certainly, I've been getting my views back up some, from this content. Just recognizing the facts. I got a strike, as many of you know. Some of you are new to the channel, even since I got the strike. New people come to the channel every day, of course. Thank you all. Got a strike on January 9th for harassment and all of this stuff. Many of you know the story. And before I got the strike, you can go back. You can do. I have not went back and actually look at the analytics. I don't have to. I just know that before I got the strike, the month of December, that was really my best month on YouTube in the history since I've been on YouTube. I was booming a little bit. I said, finally, my hard work is paying off. The channel's starting to get a little traction. And then I got the strike on January 9th. I was off YouTube for 1 week, and you can go back since the day I came back. January 16th, the views have been down from the day I came back to today. Period. And I've been trying to pinpoint what's going on, what happened. I started telling people, man, YouTube took me out of the algorithm because of the strike. They punishing me. They let me back on, took me off, but they're still punishing me. They took me out of the algorithm. There's no way. What happened? I'm doing the same content. They took me out of the algorithm. This is what I was saying for the last damn month and some change, basically. And believing this stuff, really. But no, that's not it. These videos, these last couple of days just showed me by the views that I'm not out of the algorithm. I just have to do better with my content because people tune into what they want to tune into. But at the end of the day, if my views are down, it's not YouTube and it's not the algorithm. I have to take responsibility and accountability and do better with my content. Obviously, I am not making content that people want to see consistently. Some videos do okay out of 5 damn videos a day, but some ain't, most of them ain't been doing nothing. So, it's sort of discouraging because you sitting here all day doing this stuff, you working hard, you're like, damn, what's happening? Why is it not connecting? What am I doing? What changed? But this let me know that it's something that I need to do. Put my head down, continue to work hard, don't cry, don't complain about it, do better with my content, connect with the people, figure it out, pinpoint it, and fix it. But I don't want to sell out to get views, you know what I'm saying, to keep some nonsense going. I should not put any Hoover business on the internet. Again, this is all coming from Damion Porter. I promise you, no one has told me anything. I haven't talked to some big homie and he told me, bro, you were wrong. You shouldn't put this on the internet. Don't do any more videos on Gumby. No one has said this, bro. No one. No one in my family, none of my friends, none of the homies, no one. Maybe a couple people in the comments or whatever, like, bro, you shouldn't, just don't even stoop to that level or whatever. But no one has told me this. So no one has influenced this perspective that I'm espousing now. It's really just me. When I slept on it and I said, yeah, I'm getting views and I can sell out and I can attack Gumby and get my channel back going, get some traction. Shit's been trash for the last month and a half. getting 1,500, getting 2,000 views on videos. What the hell? So yeah, I can do this. But no, I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna sell out, bro. First of all, Gumby should not have said what he said. You know, on the internet or anywhere else to anyone else. I've never spoken ill of him in front of him or behind his back or here on the internet. But he did. So it is what it is. And right now, I have to have grace. I have to be humble, and and I have to be the bigger man, if you will. I have to lead by example. I can't be 52 years old, which I'll be on Saturday, going back and forth with another man on the internet that's my age or younger or older, whatever. I should not be going back and forth with anyone on the internet and then talking about I'm going to expose them, no matter if they call themselves exposing me. Because again, what they do should not dictate what I do as a man. And it will not dictate what I do as a man. Gumby's locked up. Good luck to him and his situation. I'm going to have grace with him in the situation that he's in. He's probably lashing out. He's probably upset with everyone, with the world, with YouTubers. I don't know. Maybe that's just how he feels, bro. Whatever the case, he's going through something right now. That much I know, having been through a similar situation, not for those charges, but been in jail fighting for my life after being on the street and living a certain life, and then to go from this to that will be shocking to anyone's soul, to anyone's senses. And I have to have grace for what he's going through. None of us are perfect, bro. He said something, he misspoke as far as I'm concerned. He may not see it like that, but none of us are perfect. So how better am I? I'm just like him then. If I get on here and do the same thing that he's doing, how can I then tell someone younger than me that this is how you're supposed to comport yourself on the internet? This is how you're supposed to conduct yourself on the street as a man. Don't let what anyone else says bother you. How can I tell someone that and then turn around and make content exposing someone because of what he said about me? It bothered me that much. No, have thick skin, be strong, and don't worry about it. Gumby is going through what he's going through, bro. I hope he can, I hope he's not guilty of these charges, first of all. I hope he can come out of these charges if he's not guilty of them, and that he gets home to his family, or whatever the situation. Not that if he is guilty, I hope something happens to him. I was guilty of my crimes. And I don't want no one, I still deserved another chance as far as I was concerned. And so does Gumby. None of us are perfect. So that's it. I haven't spoke to Gumby. I haven't spoke to Gumby's people. That's not where any of this is coming from. This is from my own volition and in my own mind. I didn't tell anyone, man, I was going to get on here and just squash the beef. I'm not even tripping. This is just what I woke up, and this is just what's in my heart, bro. And however anyone else feels about it, I don't care. They feel like, oh, man, you breaking it down. Oh, man, we want you to expose them, or, whatever. Somebody got to you and told you whatever, man. I'm telling you what it is. I'm just speaking from my heart. I have to do better as a man, as a leader, as an individual, as a strong black man here on the internet. If I expect people to listen to me and to what I'm saying, and to respect my intelligence, then I have to display this intelligence. And going back and forth on the internet, hooping and hollering about some gang stuff is not an exhibition of intellect whatsoever. This is not something that would make my mother proud. I have to do better. I have to do better for myself. I have to do better for my family. I have to do better for you all, for the viewers, for the people who support me and support the channel. I have to bring you all better content. I have to work harder and do better than some gossiping nonsense, gang stuff all of the time. I have to do better. That's it. I have to use my mind. If you got a mind, think, use it. How can you help the people? How can you make better content that connects and relates to people that's going to help someone? That's it. So I'm not selling out for the views. No more beef with Hoover Gumby. I don't care what he comes out and says, bro. He can come out and call me a million B words right now, I swear. A million of them. Y'all can send me the video. I'll probably be upset because I'm human, but I'm not going to respond to not only him, but anyone from anywhere that says something about me on the internet. I'm not going to respond on the internet. Ever. I'm not going to do it, bro. I'm going to just run my content, but I'm not going to respond to anyone in a derogatory way on the internet, regardless of what they have said about me on the internet. I know who I am. I know that it is not true. I know that we'll just wait for the day when they can say it to my face, when we can see one another face to face. But me as a man, I've never been one to talk. I just take care of business. Anyone that knows me will tell you that. When it's time for the smoke and it's time for the funk, I just get cracking. I don't hesitate. I don't think about it. I don't try to talk it out. I just get it cracking. That's it. That's always been my way, to just take care of the business, bro. And I'm not about to let YouTube or the internet change that and be on here talking about what I'm going to do or gang talking, exposing business because someone got me upset. So then I'm emotional. I have no self-control. I have no discipline. I have no emotional intelligence. So this has made me disappointed in myself, bro. Because I really began to ignore the video. I promise you. I had other content that I was going to do that day, and I still haven't got to the content because of this shit, man. Still. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it got some views. So what? I can do all kind of stuff to get some views. I promise you. I can sell out for the views if that's what I wanted to do. No. Get it on your merit. Get your views on your merit. Get your damn content game up. That's how you get your views. Talk about something that matters. Do some work. Don't sell out for the views. I'm cool on that, man. And so I just must emphasize and reiterate for the commenters that this is coming from Damion Porter. No one got to me, bro. This is just, I wasn't even sure what I was going to get on here and say when I turned on the mic. Normally I have something in my head at least where I'm going with the story or whatever. I never write anything down in my life, but I have it in my head at least. I'm just going to turn on and just say, I'm done with talking on the internet. I'm done with the beef. And however it comes out, whatever, but I'm done with that. I have to lead by example for the people who are looking up to me, where it might be one individual. That's fine. I have to lead by example to that one individual. And getting on the internet and going back and forth and hooping and hollering, that's feminine. Because I'm on the internet talking, regardless of what someone else said. I'm on the internet now talking about exposing someone. Hey, man, nah, that ain't me, bro. I just didn't feel good about it myself as a man. Going back and forth with someone on the internet. Someone particularly that's in jail and that's going through something. It's not that I have a soft spot in my heart for Gumby or he from Hoover. That's why you do. Man, whoever it was, bro, if I was going back and forth with whomever, I would be disgusted with myself at this point and be cool on it. That's it. I'm cool on it. Regardless of what anyone else says or thinks, and regardless of what Gumby says or thinks and what he comes at me with, bro, it doesn't matter. Because what someone else does should never affect me. What someone else says should never affect me. If I have emotional intelligence and emotional discipline, if I have strength, inner strength of character, it's really a display of weakness. To display anger, to show anger, and to not be able to control yourself, your mouth, and your emotions, even if it's justified, even if it's in response to some slight, it doesn't matter. You still are responsible for your own actions. And what this person did should not have that effect on you. If it does, that means that you do not have the proper inner strength. You do not have the proper emotional intelligence. If someone else can say and or do something that causes you to act out of a character that you normally possess, then this person has the power over you, more power over you than you have over yourself. Now, that's the real tragedy. That's the real reason that I must disallow this sort of rhetoric to ever continue on the internet, regardless of what someone else's position is and what someone else's feelings are. It's about me and how I feel and how I comport myself as a man on the street, in prison, and here on the internet. And I cannot be a 52-year-old man on the internet going back and forth. That's infantile. That's childish. That's not manly. To allow someone to bring me out and turn on the computer and attack them, regardless of whether or not they attacked me. Because it doesn't matter what they did. If I have strength, I carry on with my day and my content. I don't pay it any mind. Only a hit dog hollers. You screaming back at him. What, did he hit a nerve? Or what he talking about? Nothing, bro. It means nothing. And you look at that, you smile, you smirk, and you go on with your day. Because you're that strong. And you let people say whatever they're going to say about you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. When they stop talking about you is when you should worry about it. As long as they're talking, even if it's in a negative way. You know where it's all coming from. You know why. You move on. And that's what I'm doing. So Hoover Gumby, that's it for me. And I'm even going to apologize to my viewers. Everyone who saw that coming from me, I'm going to apologize to you because I have to do better. I have to bring you better content, something that's going to help you with your life. This is mind rot, brain rot. This is not going to help you with your life whatsoever. Maybe in some way, it can teach you to stay out of the street. It can teach you that the gangs have no loyalty and no fealty towards one another. The individuals from the gang, the same thing. Hopefully that's what you learned and that's what you took from this, if anything, that this is not the kind of culture that you want to be a part of, that you can do better and that we all can do better. This is what I took from it, that I need to do better as a person, as a human being, as a man, as a leader, and as someone who wants the respect of my community. Someone who's on here asking for people to listen to me and to respect what I'm saying. I can't be fork-tongued. I can't come with salacious content when it benefits me and then turn around in the same breath and talk out of both sides of my mouth and talk about how I want to uplift my people in the community and how black men shouldn't be going back and forth with one another and harming one another. And then based on someone else's actions, I allow myself to come out and attack another black man in a vicious way, was ready to go in a vicious way. But again, that would make me fugazi, a fraud. Because if I had information, why didn't I reveal it from the beginning? You fake then, bro. You a phony. You had this information, but you talking about how strong he is in the hood, how good he is in the hood. That's what you had us believing. Now, when he comes and attacks you, Now all of a sudden, he's the worst human being on earth, and you been knew all this and could have been exposed him, but you never did. Man, that's some fake shit, bro. I'm cool on it, man. I can't do it. And I'm glad I didn't do it. I mean, I said some things, I can't take, I'm not going to delete the videos or nothing. Not because they're getting views or because they got views, but because that's how I felt. And, and I did feel like I was protecting myself or defending myself, but I should not have done it in that way. But the damage is already done, and I can't, take it back. All I can do is do better from this point forward. And and again, some people are not going to agree with this. I understand that going in. My next video will probably get 500 views. Like, man, we tuning out now. He ain't on this shit no more. He back to this. It is what it is, bro. I have to follow my heart and how I feel as a man. And this is how I feel. Again, I must reiterate and emphasize that. I can show you text messages that I got from what I am still calling, my big homie, my OG homies, bro. If you don't understand that, you're not from the right organization, bro. No matter how old you get. I done heard some of my OG homies referring to people as they OG homies. If you don't get it, bro, you just don't get it. You from a weak ass hood, bro. That's all. You're not from a strong organization, bro. You understand? That's all. I'm not about to break it down and explain it to you. But if I showed you the text messages, as I said, if anything, they talking down on Gumby. Some individuals saying, man, go at that bro. Go at that dude, bro. Attack him. He came at you first. You ain't said nothing bad about him. And he still came out of nowhere and attacked you anyway. He want to give shout outs to this person, that person, but then get at you like that. What the hell? Hell no. I would do the same thing. You ain't done nothing wrong. That's what I was saying when I said I hollered at my OG homies and they told me I ain't done nothing wrong. I didn't holler at them and say, bro, hey, is it okay if I defend myself? Hell no. I got on here and just went at them. Shit. I'll deal with the consequences later if there's some consequences to anything that I say. But I got to get on here and say what I got to say. But at the same time, I'm not proud of that either because I have to have better self-control. Not for my G homies, not for Hoover, not for Hoover Gumby, but for Damion Porter. I have to have better self-control. I have to have a better temperament. I have to have emotional intelligence and exhibit this at all times, no matter what the situation is and what someone else does. It does not dictate what I do. What you do does not dictate what I do. What you say does not dictate what I say. How you feel about me should never be able to dictate how I feel about myself. That's weakness. And it should never be able to dictate how I feel about you. However I felt about you before you exposed how you felt about me, it's the same way I should feel about you now. Because how you feel should not dictate anything about my life, bro. So that's how I feel. That's Damion Porter's take on it. Some people are going to agree. I'm assuming some people are not. I may lose some subscribers over this. Like for real. They want the drama. Like, man, shit. It's like I threatened to expose it, and now I'm not on my own volition. That may rub some people wrong. Like, man, shit, bro. Where you at? Which one is it, bro? You against the man? You gonna expose this dude? He's no good, or whatever you were going to expose, or he's not. What's up, bro? We don't know where you coming from now. I mean, that's a chance you got to take. I have to be who I am and express how I feel and comport myself accordingly. I have to allow the rules and the protocols to dictate my actions at all times and not my emotions. I can never allow my intelligence or my emotions to supersede my intelligence. And that's what I did here. And again, I'm disgusted and disappointed in myself. I could have let that little stuff go. That's nothing. I know who I am. I know where I'm from. I know what the hell I've been representing for a very long time. That's it. That's all that matters. Nothing else. Not what someone else says or thinks. That's just for everyone, bro. No one should dictate how you feel or how you carry yourself or what you say. Me getting on the internet looking foolish as a 52-year-old man, soon to be, has nothing to do with Gumby. That's on me. You let somebody else have you looking like that, you really a fool then. You really weak. So you blaming it on him because of what he said and what he did? You allowed him to make you look like a fool, to come out and hooping and hollering, talking crazy, looking foolish as a grown man, calling yourself an OG, a leader, and you on the internet talking about exposing people and all this that's locked up in jail, going through stuff. You have no grace. You have no humility. You have to stoop down to that level. You're not the person that I thought you were then. So I may lose some people, but hopefully someone understands where I'm coming from. If not, what can I have? Hell, I'll die on this hill alone. I'm not doing this for validation. I don't need validation. This is how I feel. I'm not changing what I'm saying. Whack 100 can come out right now and call me the biggest hizzo in the world. Man, Damion Porter, I just got a word. That dude, he's a B.I. He's a B.I. And you wouldn't hear a response from me. Anyone can come out and say it. Do whatever. They can come out with some paperwork and say I'm a snitch. I know that this is not true. I have better things to do. I don't have the energy, the time to get caught up in what someone else may be going through. And now lend my energy to this nonsense of what someone else is going through. Go down this rabbit hole, get caught up. I mean, I was really finna go video after video. I'm ready to just go up, turn up. I'm finna expose them. I'm finna this and that. Yeah, you turning up. This ain't turning. You on the internet. This ain't turning up. You got a problem with him, you deal with it when he get out, bro. If you got a problem with him or anything that he said, deal with it then. But not on the internet. That's just me. I'm not dealing with this shit on the internet. I'm done with it. Never again. Forgive me for that. For those who have forgiveness in your heart, as I am an imperfect man, striving to do better every day. But you won't get that out of me again, regardless, again, of what Gumby may say. He may be calling in already, just ready to go crazy. He already knows about the videos, of course. Who knows what he gonna say? Can't expose me. Oh, this dude's a big old. I mean, he may just, whatever. I don't even care. I'm running my content. Let's see if I can use my head to eventually bring you all some content that matters. That's going to help you in your day-to-day life, help you live a better life. Do I have enough intelligence for that? Or is all of my content going to be about gang stuff and prison stuff all day? And who got stabbed all day? Who's snitching and all this all day? Is that all I'm about? Is that all I can think of? Is that all that my mind has to offer? Is that all that I have to offer you all? Shameful. Can I do better for myself and for my people? I believe so. Let me work on that. Let me spend my time and my energy doing better. Gumby, as I said, whatever he's going through, hopefully he overcomes it. Anyone that's going through a situation, particularly that's behind bars, I have a spot for him in my heart, having been through that all of my life. I know he's going through some stuff, bro, so whatever. None of us are perfect. He called in, he said what he said. He's upset with a lot of people. It is what it is, man. Yes, he could have said it to me to my face when he was out. That's how I feel. Yes, he should have said it on the internet, but he did. He's going through what he's going through. It's like, man, I'm going through something. I'm not perfect, bro. I'm lashing out right now. Whatever. You can't give me a break. You can't give me some grace, bro. You gotta just crash on me. I'm already in jail, going through it, trying to bail out, trying to get out. You gotta come at me too. You the homie, and you gotta come at me too. You're an OG homie, we from the same section. You gotta come at, even though he came at me. It doesn't matter if he does better. I have to do better. Hopefully Gumby does get out and does better for himself, for the community. Steers people away from that life. That Gumby himself gets out of the hood. I encourage everyone to get out of the hood and not to go to the hood. The hood doesn't care about you. F the streets. Hopefully Gumby comes to that realization at some point, but we all have our maturation process, and when we reach a certain threshold, everyone is different. Hopefully, particularly with him going through what he's going through now, it's a wake-up call for him. Whether he's innocent or guilty, he's still in there going through this. It should be a wake-up call to change certain things, certain behaviors. But I'm not a preacher, and I'm not a psychologist. Hell, I need to work on myself and do better my damn self. So again, Gumby's going through what he's going through. I'm going to have grace in that situation, bro. And it's not just that, just me. I need to carry myself as a man. Here on the internet, on YouTube, here in my home, with my family. I have to have a better relationship with my brother. I have to have more grace with him. Be more patient and understanding with him, with everyone that's in my life. I have to have more grace and put myself in their position and not judge. I have to do better, bro. Period. So it's not just about Gumby. It's about Damion Porter having to do better, put the onus on myself to do better as a man, as a human being, and as a leader. Do better for my people. They deserve better. My people need better. They need strong black men out here, strong men, strong leaders to get us out of this mess. We don't need no big, strong black men claiming to be strong black men, 52 years old on YouTube, on the internet, talking some gang nonsense, gang politics, hooping and hollering at another 50-year-old man. Bunch of goofies. Damion Porter, you's a big old goofy. Do better for that shit. You's a goofy for that. Doesn't matter what he said. You a goofy. So yeah, no, I'm gonna do better. I don't give a damn what no one says, what anyone thinks. This is me again. This coming from me. Me. No one else. Whoever don't like it, I don't care. You'll never get that out of me again from any. I don't care. Of course, I don't want to come down too hard on myself at the same time, because the natural instinct is to protect yourself, to defend yourself, bro. Someone is attacking you, attacking your character, and that may be my instinct again. It sounds good right now. I'm talking a good one, all y'all know. But someone could get on here, accuse me of snitching, I said earlier, come up with some fake paperwork. Yeah, I would have to get on here and defend myself in some way. Like, man, because staying silent in that kind of situation, many people are going to misconstrue it as guilt or someone. He ain't saying nothing. He ain't defending himself. He must be guilty. So it's hard, bro. It's hard to defend yourself with certain stuff. People getting on here and putting shit on the internet on you, and you don't defend yourself on the internet. I don't say nothing back to Gumby. Some people looking at it like, oh, he's scared, or it must be true, or I didn't think about that when I responded. That was just my reaction to respond. that's not what caused me to respond, or I'm worried about what someone else may think. But I'm just saying, I get it. It's hard sometimes. Someone is attacking you. It's easier said than done. I'm sitting here for all this time talking about, how I need to do better, and I do, and how I shouldn't have responded, and I shouldn't have. But it's not, always as simple as that. Of course, as a man, as a person, you do want to defend yourself and defend your character. You've been standing on this shit for 40 years, and someone just comes along and just tries to throw your name in the mud out of nowhere. It's like, man, on the internet, you like, man, hell no. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stay silent on this, So, I don't want to come down too hard on myself, because the natural instinct, I think, for anyone would be to defend yourself, defend your person, defend your character if you're being attacked. But at the same time, there's something said about not defending yourself, not letting that bother you, knowing who you are. And if your silence influences people to believe that you're guilty because you're not responding to this, then so be it. You can't please everyone. You know that you're not responding because you're strong and you're not guilty of this. And when you respond, you give it life. When you react to this sort of stuff, you give it life. The best thing to do to let a thing die off is to ignore it. The minute you give it, you respond and react to it, you give it energy, you give it life. As I said, I gave this whole situation life. Everybody doing videos on it, reacting to it. Shout out to everybody. I ain't mad at nobody. This is content. I do reactions and videos on people all damn day. I can't say nothing. I'm just saying, I gave it life. I gave it life. It didn't get a lot of views on Gumby's channel. I happened to see it. It came across my timeline. No, actually, the homie sent it to me. But then I saw it myself that morning. But someone sent it to me as well. But still, I gave it life. Because when I did that, people started doing videos on it and all that, and which gave it more life. So, and that's the whole point. When you respond, you give something life. You ignore it, you let it die. So I shouldn't have never responded, bro. That's my point. That's it, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and stay free, people.